In the top stories, police say fire at Joshua Obadiah Williams Primary was deliberately set. Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister explains fuel increase calculations, and Russian bombing leaves Ukraine's Kharkiv in ruins. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Monday, the 21st of March, 2022. I'm Jason Davis. Nationally, the police say the fire at the Joshua Obadiah Williams Primary School on Friday night was intentionally carried out, and the search for the perpetrator or perpetrators is underway. Assistant Commissioner of Police with responsibility for crime, Andre Mitchell, visited the scene with a team of senior investigators on Saturday. ACP Mitchell described the fire as a malicious act, saying, quote, "Preliminary investigations so far have revealed that the fire was no accident. We have identified the areas in which several fires were lit. I am dismayed with the extent to which a person or persons have gone to damage an institution of learning which caters to our children. A vigorous investigation is being conducted to find and bring to justice the person or persons responsible for this crime." Meanwhile, the police are offering a reward of $35,000 for information that leads to the arrest and a successful prosecution of the person or persons responsible for the fire at the Joshua Obadiah Williams Primary School. On Sunday, Commissioner of Police Hilroy Brandy visited the scene in Molyneux and expressed his disgust with the matter. He was quoted as saying, "Regardless of the motive, this malicious offense has adversely affected scores of our nation's youth who deserve to learn in a comfortable environment. We're taking this matter very seriously and will need all the help we can get to solve the case. Anyone who may have information that can move this investigation forward is asked to call the Tabernacle Police Station at 465-7227, the nearest police station, or the crime hotline at 707, where information can be given anonymously. Investigations into the matter are ongoing." In other police news, the police have found the body of 40-year-old Mario Riley, who was reported missing on March 6. Riley's body was found on Friday evening, semi-clothed, along a dirt road leading to Beaumont Park in Dieppe Bay. Personnel from the forensics department processed the scene and collected pieces of evidence. The police are appealing to persons who might have information about this incident to contact the Tabernacle Police Station at 465-7227 or the crime hotline at 707. Meanwhile, the police are also investigating an armed robbery in which a man was shot and injured. According to a release, sometime after 3 p.m. on Friday, the police received a report of the incident, which took place at an establishment in Fig Tree, and several units responded. The police say 2 masked men ran into the establishment and demanded money. One of the assailants was armed with a firearm. The business operator handed over the cash pan, which contained a sum of money. The armed assailant shot and injured Keston Bradshaw of Newton Ground in his arm, and both assailants fled the scene. Bradshaw is in stable condition at the JNF General Hospital, and personnel from the forensics department have visited and processed the scene. Persons with information about this matter, you're asked to contact the Violent Crimes Unit at 467-1887 or 1888 or 662-3468, or you can call the nearest police station or the crime hotline at 707, where information can be given anonymously. Investigations into this matter are ongoing. We now move to news on the regional scene. Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister, the Honorable Gaston Brown, has provided more details on the factors which prompted the increase in gasoline and diesel prices at the pumps last week. He also responded to a concern in some quarters, suggesting previous supplies should have been exhausted before the increases were introduced. ABS's Jamie Roche reports.
Prime Minister Brown says because West Indies Oil Company buys fuel at spot, it pays the market value at the point of purchase.
Even though Sol, for example, may have had products in their tank that they purchased months ago at a low price, because they sell at spot, we had to pay the price at the time. And when that shipment came in just over a week ago, it so happened that the price per barrel was $146.
This prompted the government to increase gasoline prices at the pumps from $12.50 to $15.70 per gallon. Diesel also moved from $12.20 to $15.50. Saturday, during his weekly radio program on Point FM, the Prime Minister provided a breakdown of the price build-up from the last shipment. It shows the government received consumption taxes of $2.05 for gasoline and 63 cents for diesel. The gasoline product price, which began at $11.32, ended at $15.70 after accounting for various costs, including margins from importers, wholesalers, and dealers.
The next shipment, assuming the price is on the 100 US or even just over 100 US dollars when it gets here, when we would have paid for it, then it will give us some leverage to reduce the price then.
The Prime Minister says he doesn't anticipate the price will rise above 146 US dollars, but says if it does, the government will either have to take a loss or increase the price again. Jamie J. Roche, ABS News.
In Trinidad and Tobago, Solidarity was responsible for the success of Operation Pushback. This, according to the president of the Joint Trade Union Movement, Ansel Roger, as he addressed members during a meeting and prayer service on Saturday at Palmist Park in San Fernando. More from Ayana Carter.
According to the JTM president, unions and advocates recorded a win in the fight against mandatory vaccinations. Mr. Roger told the gathering that the victory proved that there is strength in unity.
We will not accept any mandatory jabs or any mandatory vaccination. We will not accept it. And to the extent that we would have united, I want to register this afternoon my own appreciation, the movement's, the labor movement's own appreciation for the success that was registered in that battle.
Mr. Roger said the people must decide what's important to them and must not be forced or threatened.
And so that battle could not have been won, comrades, brothers and sisters. As powerful as we are in the trade union movement, as powerful as we are as activists, as powerful as we are as social movements, that battle could not have been won by any individual group, but that we recognize that the attack is on all of us, and all of us came together. That is what registered the victory. It is the unity in purpose and the unity in fending off this mandatory vaccination.
The JTM president emphasized that they will continue to advocate for freedom of choice. The mandatory vaccination policy proposed by the government for members of the public service was subsequently shelved.
Internationally, at least 500 people have been killed in the city of Kharkiv since Russia launched its invasion of Ukraine on the 24th of February, the Regional Emergency Service has said. Ukraine's second-largest city, located in the country's northeast, has been subjected to relentless bombardment by Russian forces for weeks. Kharkiv has suffered constant shelling by Russian forces, and although they have not been able to take control of the city, the bombing has caused catastrophic damage. Al Jazeera's Asset Baig reports.
An eerie silence hangs over Kharkiv. With apocalyptic scenes. The center of the city, frozen like a page in history, standing still for the world to see.
There was a huge explosion that was heard all over the city center. I lived quite close, so I myself heard it, and the walls were shaken. And after that, there were several another airstrikes in the following days. I walked in the street thousands of times, and there were so many like little coffee shops or restaurants on the first floors here, and people were living here. My friends were living in these houses, and so now there is no place where they can come back.
Since the start of the war, Maria has refused to leave her home city in northeastern Ukraine. She stayed to document what the Russians are doing.
Here, during the Nazi occupation, so even the Nazis during the World War II didn't destroy the buildings, and now they are in ruins because of the Russians, who are our neighbors.
People here think that one day soon the damage can be fixed and buildings reconstructed. But the impact of the war on the minds of people in Kharkiv will be harder to overcome. The Russians thought they could just walk in and take this city. But they were mistaken. They were met with fierce Ukrainian resistance. And as a result, to punish Kharkiv, they ripped out its historical heart. For weeks there's been bombing day and night. Once a city of 1.5 million, many have left. Some of those who remain struggle for food. This man brought frozen chickens and bread to donate to those in need.
I hope the war ends soon so that our children can live. May Putin be gone.
And as the sound of artillery fills the sky, people head to the underground station to hunker down for the night. Every space is taken, including inside the trains.
I'm sleeping here. We took the mattress and pumped it up, and more or less settled down. Some people sleep here or on the floor. We also eat here. The food is so-so. Volunteers bring it to us.
But as the doors on the subway are closed for the night, there's hope here. The next day will bring an end to the war. And no need to hide from the bombs. Asad Beg, Al Jazeera, Kharkiv.
Still on the international scene, top U.S. infectious disease expert Dr. Anthony Fauci has predicted a rise in COVID cases in the United States, similar to the uptick seen in the UK. More in this Reuters report.
The top US infectious disease expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, has predicted a rise in COVID-19 cases in the United States, similar to the uptick seen in the UK. Yet when asked about restrictions in a Sunday interview on ABC, he did not advocate for tightening rules again.
I don't see us going back into any more really very strict kinds of restrictions, but you always have to have the flexibility.
A World Health Organization spokesperson said on Friday that the end of the COVID-19 pandemic was a long way off. COVID-19 cases increased around the world last week. A combination of factors has caused the spike, including the highly transmissible Omicron variant and its cousin, the BA.2 subvariant. The WHO pointed to lockdowns around Asia and the battle in China's Jilin province to contain an outbreak. The UN Health Agency has previously said that the acute phase of the pandemic could end this year, but it says it would depend on how quickly its target is met to vaccinate 70% of the population in each country, among other factors.
And now for the weather. Current conditions are fair skies with slight dust haze. The temperature for today is 28 degrees Celsius or 83 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds are a gentle breeze of 12 miles per hour from an easterly direction. Seas are moderate with waves of 5 to 7 feet. The weather forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis for today and tonight will be partly cloudy to sometimes cloudy with a 60% or moderate chance of brief showers. Sunset today will be at 6:22 p.m., sunrise tomorrow at 6:13 a.m. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Jason Davis.